Ben Shapiro, if you love Israel so much, why don't you just move there? Because what you doing in this country? Now, I wanted to go ahead and bring this up because Ben Shapiro has been crashing out basically on his channel, going on this week-long rant about Tucker Carlson, Piers Morgan, and Megyn Kelly. In this video, we're just going to talk about Megyn Kelly specifically because I think Ben Shapiro is a little jealous that she gets more views. Well, actually, he's upset with all of them because they get more views than he do, because he wants to push the narrative that, oh, these are just conspiracy theorists and this is why they're doing it for clicks and views because they make money. Because let's be honest, no one cares about Ben Shapiro or the Daily Wire. But go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's get into this video and hear what he had to say about Megyn Kelly. Here we go. Ben Shapiro just always seemed bitter to me. He's very bitter and jealous and spiteful, because let's be honest, a guy like him, he's kind of nerdy. Like, nobody really wants to follow him. Like, I think a lot of his views are bought and paid for, but hey, that's not what we're here to talk about today. Let's get into it.
Essentially the claim that he is making. Megyn Kelly has also jumped on this bandwagon, apparently for the clicks and giggles of it.
No one should have to die for a foreign country. I don't think those 4 service members died for the United States. I think they died for Iran or for Israel. I think I understand how this helps Iran perfectly well. I get it. I mean, I hope. Long term, we'll see. But they seem rather jubilant. 80% of the country does not support the Ayatollah. He was a terrible, terrible man. No one's crying that he's dead. No normal person. But our government's job is not to look out for Iran or for Israel. It's to look out for us. And this feels very much to me like it is clearly Israel's war. Mark Levin wanted it. It's his war. Ben Shapiro, Lindsey Graham, Miriam Adelson. That's obvious.
Okay, so first of all, the ugly suggestion that Mark Levin is somehow a traitor to the United States, that it's Israel's war, and Mark Levin wanted it because it's Israel's war, or I want it, or Lindsey Graham, or Miriam Adelson. Really disgusting stuff from Megyn Kelly, but
listen, make sure you guys check out my other video that I did on Lindsey Graham, how he was like, we're going to blow it up. Oh, yeah, he wanted this. Yeah.
Predictable at this point. You know whose war this is? President Donald J. Trump's war. He's the president of the United States. He commands the United States military. She is such a coward. She is such an unbelievable coward. You don't like President Trump? You don't like what he's saying? Just say his name, you coward. You unbelievable coward. Tucker and Megyn both. Unbelievable cowardice. Say his name. You won't. You won't. And of course, Megyn is wildly inconsistent. In October 2024, she tweeted, quote, "I was in the Situation Room when things got bad" is not a response to "you haven't treated Iran like our number one threat." So there she was labeling Iran our number one threat in 2024, but something has changed. Could it be clickable algorithmic idiocy? We'll get to more on this in a moment. First, let's be honest, buying seafood.
So basically, he's calling her out like, yeah, see, you're just doing this for clicks and views because you said Iran was a threat. Now, again, Kamala Harris did say Iran was a threat as well, too. But she didn't talk about, I wanted to go in there and try to do no regime change. Like, yeah, you can say that Iran is a threat, even though they attacked us. But you can say Iran is a threat. You can simply say that. But again, we can't forget about the relationship that Trump had with Iran, because remember during his first administration, he killed that general. Yeah, they haven't forgot about that. And they still put a bounty on his head. Remember that? So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and skip forward because we ain't giving him no free promo, and where he talks about the Megyn Kelly part and Marjorie Taylor Greene. So here we go, you guys.
Meanwhile, MTG still wandering the wilds, but of course, has a home on Megyn Kelly's show where she can spew her nonsense. Here she was implying that President Trump is going to hell.
Megyn, this really needs to be said. Donald Trump has said repeatedly on camera and in interviews, he doesn't think he's going to heaven. Well, I want to ask a question, a serious question. What is in his mind? What is his mental state? If he doesn't think he's going to heaven, and he is a man towards the end, he's in the 4th quarter, he's towards the end of his life. How does that pan out for the rest of us when we have a president of the United States who doesn't think and is convinced he's not going to heaven? What does that mean his decision making is?
This disgusting conspiracy.
But here's the thing. Trump already said that he wasn't a Christian, but he loves Christians. So you still voted for him knowing that. Like, Marjorie Taylor Greene, shut your ass up. See, this is when they start talking. I'm all like, all right, here we go. We might have a common thought when it comes to us getting in this war for Israel. But when it comes to them actually start spewing BS out their mouth, that's when you got to call them out on the hypocrisy, right?
Conspiratorial nonsense. My goodness. How the horseshoe right has gotten uglier and uglier day in and day out. Astonishing stuff. The president of the United States, by the way, was asked about the Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly horseshoe right. And he said, MAGA is Trump. MAGA is not the other two. He said that Carlson can, quote, say whatever he wants. It has no impact on me, which is a pretty cold rip from the president. On Megyn Kelly, Trump said, Megyn was opposed to me for years when I ran the first time and nothing stopped me. And so, some people are against and they always come back. She came all the way back. But now I guess she maybe doesn't like the idea of this war. But I do, because I have to keep nuclear weapons out of the hands of the Iranians. Yeah, that is the president being very, very, very nice. Now, again, the goal.
Weapons that they don't have, by the way. But again, here's the thing with Ben Shapiro, because Ben Shapiro like, it's Trump. And granted, I agree with him. Trump wanted to do this. Yeah, did he have some encouragement from Israel? Of course. But he wanted to do this. Like, he likes this type of shit. Because with Trump, he feels like, oh, this is him showing his power. Like, oh, you can't mess with the United States. So he wants to go attack weaker countries instead of actual threats like Russia. But that's a different story for a different day, right? But Ben Shapiro is all like, you guys are attacking Israel and other. He's a Zionist, so we already know what he's about. But let's go ahead and go to this next video that I have for you guys here. And again, he's talking about Megyn Kelly. And mind you, there's about 4 other videos where he's talking about Megyn Kelly. So he's been going on this whole rant about her for a whole week. It is crazy, you guys. I'm telling you. Here we go. Make this full screen.
Do a contest of comparing statistics on episode downloads or YouTube downloads for specific episodes with Megyn Kelly, because that's not how I measure morality. But that is clearly how Megyn measures morality. A lot of figures are looking at their click count, which is being jogged algorithmically, and they assume that their views are actually popular with the bulk of the American people. And that's why some engagement farmers, people who spend all day abandoning principles but bragging about their view count, are claiming political victory even while President Trump ignores literally everything they're saying, which is why, for example, sadly, Megyn Kelly continues to pretend she's the vanguard of the conservative movement, citing, wait for it, her YouTube numbers. Yesterday, because she's upset at me, she put out a statement saying she wanted to thank her audience because they had 138 million views on YouTube in February alone, twice every show on CBS News combined. And then she talks about my YouTube traffic and says that her YouTube traffic is significantly higher than my YouTube traffic. Again, I'm not going to get into a contest of comparing statistics on episode downloads or YouTube downloads for specific episodes with Megyn Kelly, because that's not how I measure morality. But that is clearly how Megyn measures morality. Some might point out that Megyn's supposed bravery, because Megyn tends to put herself out there as a brave figure standing up to the predations of the censors. Some might point out that Megyn's bravery stops precisely where the clicks end, that she was pro-trans until the clicks turned against it, at which point she suddenly became the most militant, cursing opponent of the trans movement, that she was pro-Israel until the clicks turned against it, at which point she started hinting of dark, sinister.
I got to give him his credit. He's right about that, because they pulled up this has been circulating on X. They put up this whole clip, and Megyn was interviewing trans kids, and she was very accepting and explaining, the struggles and everything like that. And so when you see that Megyn Kelly, when she was doing the Today Show, versus now she reverted back to her old nasty witchy Republican ways, you're like, oh, so you switch depending on what network you're on. And just like when she said blackface was okay, and then when she got in trouble, she started crying, oh, I didn't know blackface was bad. Yeah, Megyn Kelly is full of shit. We're not going to pretend like she's not. But when it comes to this war, most Americans do not want this war with Iran. And this is what he's trying to avoid actually speaking to. Nobody wants this.
Conspiracies to silence her, that she was pro-Erica Kirk until the clicks turned against it, at which point she went totally silent on Candace Owens, slandering the widow of her supposed friend. There is not and has not been a political parade that begins without Megyn Kelly at the front that ends without Megyn at the front waving a baton. And as for her purported bravery against censorship, let's be clear. According to Megyn herself, she's thriving. She's got great traffic. No one's censoring her. And she's talking about every topic under the sun, particularly things like Israel. Well, I shouldn't say every topic, almost every topic. It turns out there is one topic she won't talk about. That, of course, would be her continued complete moral betrayal of Erica Kirk to kiss Candace Owens' ass, even as she cosplays as the brave woman standing up against censors who don't exist. She says she'll die before she bends the knee to those who criticize Candace Owens.
And I refused to condemn her. And then that morphed into then everything Candace said thereafter, with which I may or may not have had serious problems, that I had to, where's the condemnation? And it was all really about the Israel thing. And I'd rather die than bend the knee to these people. I'd rather die than bend the knee. It won't happen.
That's a bold stand, Cotton. Yesterday, President Trump went directly after Tucker Carlson. He said, quote, Tucker has lost his way. I knew that a long time ago, and he's not MAGA. MAGA is saving our country. MAGA
right there. Now, I will say Ben Shapiro came kind of hard with this one because he called out a lot of her hypocrisy. And again, I think Ben Shapiro knows that the Daily Wire and his channel haven't been hidden like it used to. And so now he's all like, you know what? I'm going to attack these people because, like I said, he's been going after Candace. He's been doing that for a while, right? That's why I didn't include her originally. But Megyn Kelly, Piers Morgan, Tucker Carlson, and it's all channels that are doing better than him. It's all channels that are against this war, which again, the polling shows most Americans are against this war. Nobody wants this. Well, let me not say nobody. The majority of Americans do not want this. And I'm pretty sure our friends overseas, they don't want this either because nobody wants to hop into World War III. Especially when you can handle things with diplomacy. That's how most things are handled now, right? But hey, what do I know? Again, Ben Shapiro is going to be an angry, fast-talking nerd, and he literally just wants to insert himself in the battles, insert himself in the beast, because at the end of the day, everybody's looking at Ben Shapiro like, oh yeah, you done lost your way. Like, you're not the same person that you used to be. But honestly, this has always been Ben Shapiro. He has always been Israel first. Now that the tide is changing, Ben Shapiro is realizing like, oh wait, these people aren't gonna just follow me because I'm a Republican or I'm, more right-leaning. Like, it's all like, no, they're gonna call you out on your BS if especially you're capping for Israel over your own country, the country that you live in, which is the United States of America. But hey, let the right fight each other. Listen, I love me some white on white crime. So let them let them have it. And please let me know if you would like a video on Piers Morgan. I might actually do that because him and Piers have been going back and forth. So go ahead and hit that like button, but hit that notification bell when you subscribe to my channel and press all so you get notifications for all my videos. I love y'all for watching, but we out of here. Deuces, everybody.